we got a flat on our Can-Am X3. I'm going to show you how we'll fix that with the AGM Manual Jack Sport and this impact, and then I'll show you everything you need to know to lift your X3 with this jack. Let's get into it. So first we're going to push the jack in, get our 2 points of contact, one on the pad, one the jack against the spring, and lift. Okay, grab our suspension catch, throw this under for safety. Now we have an impact, so we're just pulling the lugs off. If you were doing this by hand, do yourself a favor, break all these lugs loose before you lift the car. That way the weight of the car is holding this thing tight and you're not loading the gearbox. With that, we'll pull the lugs off. Now, you noticed I was catching all the lugs. The reason that we're doing that, we don't want these to fall into the sand. We're trying to keep these threads nice and clean. If they fall in, there's a chance you get debris in here. Then when you go to put that back on the stud, you could gall the threads, forcing you to need or replace lug nuts and studs. Not a fun day. But if one does happen to fall in, no big deal. Tap that out, blow out any dust, make sure it's clean, and then we're going to stick these in a safe spot. We'll get this thing off and get it replaced. Okay, now that we got a freshie, throw that guy on. And we're going to start these lugs by hand. Again, trying to protect the studs. That way we make sure we don't cross thread anything. Once we got these on, we're going to tighten this in a star or a cross pattern. And the reason we want to do that in this cross or star pattern is we want to make sure that the wheel pulls completely flush to the rotor. That way, as we torque, we know this has got a nice tight seat. You can, on certain vehicles, if you're tightening in a circular pattern, pull one part of the wheel in first, and this thing can wedge itself not perfectly seated. When it does that, you'll tighten everything up. You'll never know. You go drive down the road, this thing is going to eventually walk itself square, and then it's going to be loose. These lugs fall off, bad day ensues. So, star pattern for the win. Now, at this point, if you had a torque wrench, you want to go ahead and torque the wheel. To do that, you'll just lower this down just enough that the tire hits the dirt. That way we're not loading the drivetrain as we tighten. I think Can-Am on this model and year says the torque is 89 foot-pounds plus or minus 4. We don't have that. We got an impact. We're in the middle of nowhere. So we're just going to go around one more time real quick as a safety check to know this is tight. With that, we can lower the jack. Get our catch out and get back on the trail. We're going to start with the rear lift, but first, let's grab the jack out of the mounts. Now with the Sport Jack, our preferred lifting point here in the back is the trailing arm. The reason we like that is we're able to pick up straight away. We don't have to lift through all the suspension travel. That way this thing gets off the ground a little bit quicker. You can perform your repair and get back to having fun. So what that looks like is we are going to lift here directly under the shock from the bottom of the trailing arm. And our goal, once we get this height adjusted, our goal is 2 points of contact. And what I mean by that is we're going to have the pad under the arm, and we also want the jack pushed up against the spring. That way it creates a little extra stability. So I'm going to actually twist, whatever, the jack in a bit more towards the center of the car. That way I'm not fighting the angle of this trailing arm. Grab my impact, and with those 2 points of contact, lift up. There you go. With the tire off the ground, you can perform your repair. Now, if you're not able to lift from the trailing arm, there is an alternate lift point here along the chassis. So again, we will adjust our collar I'm guessing about that high. Almost. Get that under the chassis tube. So we have our first point of contact. We're pushed into the vehicle. So we have our second. Go ahead and lift this up. Now, we could most likely get this off the ground in a single lift, but I want to show you something here, and this is a really good place to do it. As this vehicle lifts, you can see the track width changing. The tire is being drug in towards the center of the car. We can actually use that to our advantage. So what I will do is I'm actually going to lower the jack back down. I'm going to raise the collar to the next position and then lift again. That way I'm not using all the travel of the jack, but I'm able to get the car all the way off the ground. So show you what that looks like. Okay, with the car back down, I can raise the collar up, another position, stick it back under and lift again. There you go. With the tire off the ground, you can perform your repair. For a front lift, we're going to pick up off the upper arm just below the shock mount. You can actually see how the arm contours here. This flat area is the most stable place to lift. So I'll show you what that looks like. Get the jack down under here. And again, we're looking for our 2 points of contact. This time it's not the upper part of the jack, but the hook. So we'll have our flat pad under that part of the arm that is most parallel to the ground. Then we're gonna have a second point of contact down here. Make sure we keep that just off the tire, just in case the repair is the tire. And we'll lift this up. And there you go. With the tire off the ground, you can perform your repair. For the alternate lift point up front, we can actually go under the bumper here at the front of the car. So we'll get that positioned in the V-groove top cap. Go up slow. Looks like we're good. Okay, and lift up. There you go. With the tires in the air, ready for your repair. Before you go, 2 quick tips for you. 1, if your car is drivable, before you start that repair, let's move it to a safe area off the trail. Make sure it's in 4-wheel drive so it doesn't roll. Put that thing in park. It's also going to be nice because now you're not blocking the trail for others and you don't have to worry about getting hit. Plus, a flat, unobstructed area is much easier and quicker to work in. And 2, if your body or any part of your body is going to be under this vehicle while you are lifting, or there's a chance that you may need to get back into the car while you're lifted, please put something under the vehicle to act as a jack stand. This can be a hard shell cooler, a toolbox, spare tire, rock, log, whatever it is, something that's under the car that acts as a catch in case the car moves off the jack. This is gonna, 1, make sure that you don't get hurt, and 2, it's gonna allow you to get the job done quicker and easier. That being said, today's video had one goal, and that was to show you everything you need to know about lifting your Can-Am X3 safely and quickly, because how you lift it matters. Now, if you have any questions, please leave them below. I am Bryan with AGM. Thank you for watching this episode of How You Lift It, and we'll see you next time.